Hey, field notes. Man, these writing sessions sometimes feel like therapy. I'm really exploring some things that I never really looked at, never really said, was never really honest with myself about. Today I was really talking about um, how I feel about then, now. Does that make any sense? This idea of value and being valuable kept coming up today. And I think a lot of it is because before the backlash, I felt extremely valuable. After the backlash, I didn't feel valuable at all. And if I'm going to be 100, still don't. But I'm willing to see. I think that's the difference now between and it's the hindsight of 20 years, is really seeing how valuable I am, not just to my work and what I do, but to me. Am I valuable to me? Big deal. Big deal. And the struggle with one man shows is it's a very selfish thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be the only person on stage and all of you are going to watch me go through some shit, right? It's very selfish. But I think what is going to be valuable about this show is how I got here, how I got to 20 years later and am able to actually write a show and am able to have the value of hindsight and really diving in full steam with everybody out there in the world and being honest. That's hard. I am a black man. I've been a black man longer than I've been anything else. And there are platitudes that we as black men have. And there are protections for survival that we as black men give ourselves. There's this idea of invulnerability. And it's a lie because we're all vulnerable. But we put it on because being a black man and being vulnerable could cost you your life, unfortunately, which sucks. So I know I have taught myself how to put that black man armor on in one way or another to protect myself, right? To protect my vulnerability, to not be honest. And now, where I'm at now, I am trying to take the armor off. There's a difference between being Ahmed, a black man, and me. I don't want to do the show with black man armor on, but I do want to show you, you being me, and whomever's going to come see the show, how I had to find that black man armor because I believed what I was going through wasn't as big as it was to me. I didn't want to get super honest about how personal and how easy it was to break through the black man armor to get to me. And that's why nobody knew I was going through this shit because of the armor. You know, the armor is diesel. The armor is fucking vibranium, adamantium armor, black man armor. You know what I mean? You look at me and say, oh man, Ahmed is athletic, he's smart, he's cool, nerdy. You know what I'm saying? Like I can be all of these things. Also, I keep a picture of Tandy Newton in that dress that sparked this whole thing on my desktop. And I do that not because of the pain it caused me And not just because I love Tandy Newton. Like, I'm such a big Tandy Newton fan, always have been. And I think she's wonderful. But it's a good motivator because it it kind of did it helped me find what it is about this thing that really bothers me. What it is about Star Wars and Jar Jar Binks that hurts me so much. And what I want to say about it. And what I want to say about it is Jar Jar, though he wasn't a black man in the movie, is important to black men artists because here is an art form and a process where you can take a risk and do something different and have another avenue and another possibility and it be valuable, hit or miss, pass or fail, it'll be valuable. And it's important to know that you can do that. And you don't have to be what everybody thinks a black man is supposed to be. You don't have to be smooth and cool and lady killer and uber intelligent and excellent or completely the opposite and be thugged out, criminal out. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. You can be. And ain't no, let me qualify this shit. There ain't shit wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? But I played a character that is risky for a black man to play. And when I was doing it, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm a black man and I'm gonna do this for the black men. I loved Star Wars and I wanted to be in it. And I don't know if thinking about it as a black man or thinking about a black man playing it from either perspective should have been thought about or come into play. That's a really good question that we can explore. George didn't see my involvement in Star Wars as a black man thing. I would argue that Hugh Quarshie and Sam Jackson were black man role decisions. Especially Sam Jackson, since he was cool, Mace Windu. And he was like the head of the Jedis. That was a black man conscious decision. Let's put a cool black dude as a Jedi in a major Jedi role. I think Hugh Quarshie was the same thing. I thought, oh yeah, a black man would be good in that thing. Jar Jar wasn't predicated with this idea that, oh, it'd be cool for a black man to play him. I was the guy who can do what George wanted to do. There's this big thing about diversity and inclusion in all forms of industry now. Everybody's talking about diversity. And the Tandy Newton dress is why we need to talk about diversity, because this pivotal process in the movie making toolkit was co-created by a black man, and I didn't make the dress. What does that say about us? What does that say about us as black people? What does that say about us as black people and our position in history and how we frame the debate? The fact that a lot of black people, I'm not saying all black people, the fact that it's not known that I did this is a tough one for me to swallow. It is. Everybody knows who the first black man to do anything is in black people households. Black people don't even know a lot of the people's names. They say, that dude who invented the gas mask? He was black. The dude who invented the traffic light? Black. Straightening comb? Black man. First person to do open heart surgery? Black. Everybody loves saying black to black. What's his name? All of these, black people, we know their names. Rosa Parks, we know. Madam C.J. Walker, do we know that name? I didn't make the dress because what my contribution to film history as a black man wasn't seen as valuable. And I believed it. I believed I wasn't valuable. And every time something like that happened, especially with black people, and black people not seeing my contribution to this thing as valuable, is hurtful to me. I've always wanted to help inspire black actors, writers, performers, directors, anybody who wants to do this. I've always wanted to be able to say that you can do this in a way that hasn't been done before. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be the ways that we are used to, right? And the fact that Jar Jar was brought to this idea of a racial stereotype was painful because the value of me, the value of the work, I feel like got lost. Got lost. And that's not something that needs to be lost. I'm saying a bunch of shit right now. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the value of me being a part of film history tied to my personal value. I kept saying to myself, I did this thing, I did this thing, I did this thing. How come nobody sees it? How come nobody wants to see it? How come nobody cares? And I think the reason why is because I want my path to have value as well. I want a person in this country or in any other country in the world. I want a person who feels like she might have a hard time in this business because she doesn't look like the people who are represented in this business. I want her to be able to see a Jar Jar Binks and say, I can do that. I want to do that. I want to take that path. And have that be an option. And have them know that because I did it and I didn't take that traditional path, that's a possibility. It's possible. That's what I want her to believe. I want her to say, I've been training as a modern dancer all my life, and I want to be able to be an actor. And I want to take this modern dance skill and acumen and work that I've done and create something that's never been seen before. How do you do that? Jar Jar Binks. That's what Jar Jar Binks was. Unconventional actor. George hired Ahmed Best right off the stomp stage as an actor, as a mover, as a voice actor, not as a thug, not as somebody who just got out of jail or as an athlete that just wanted to get a good education. I move like this. I move in a way that is not noticed. And I want to contribute to movies. I want to move you. How could I do that? Ahmed did it. Jar Jar Binks was that. My brother, who's an artist, right? My brother draws and paints. And I was asking him about drawing and stuff. And he said, you're talking about shadows. You know, and I was like, how do you know what to shadow, where to shadow one? And he's like, he's told me this technique that he did at Cooper Union. He was like, squint your eyes and look at something. If you squint your eyes and look at it, the shadows tend to pop out at you a little bit more, right? So you can really see the shadows if you just squint your eyes a little bit, right? And look through that and just put a little obstacle in front of your eyes to make you see differently. Literally, you know, you see differently. That's what I want to do. I want to put this thing in front of your eyes that makes you see differently. Now, you don't have to like it, but you'll see it. And it might not touch you the way it touches me, but I just want you to see it. I want to see it. I don't see it yet, but the first step I took. I got that little bit of obstruction in my eyes. I'm there now. I'm there. I'm doing it. Now I just got to see the shadows. Now I just got to make it clear. I got to draw the shadows. Okay, back to work.